And here we go on 3, 2, 1.
Just drop that ass, bitch. It's Open Micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that Open Micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head. Jacob looking in red. It's Open Micers, bitch. Heard what I said. Drop that ass. Open Micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open Micers in the house. Open Micers in the house. Open Micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open Micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig. And hey, we're back. We're releasing a podcast on a podcast day. Wouldn't you fucking know it? We're professionals, dude. Releasing podcasts when we're supposed to. We'll get into all that. We got a lot of stuff to get into because we haven't had a fucking podcast in a while. But I'm going to introduce our guest so that he doesn't feel obligated to, stay quiet at this part before his introduction. We are joined by a fucking true triple threat here. He's a better version of Jason Robbins because he really is. He's a comedian. He is a podcaster for a much more well-known podcast, the X5 podcast. Go subscribe to that if you're not already. And he is a drummer and musician that you know from the hard rock band Lynam. It's the one and only David Lynam. How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. How are y'all doing, man? I was just texting my mom that I actually made now that I've got it on y'all's podcast. I've been on the same podcast as now I'm drawing a blank. Who's the other drummer, famous comic y'all had on there?
Keith Robinson.
No, is Keith a drummer?
Oh, comic drummer.
Yeah, Running the Light. Author,
Sam Talent.
Yeah, why am I losing my brain? Hey guys, I feel like Joe Biden now. I can't remember my own jokes. This is going to be a problem. It's going to come back to haunt me. But thank you for having me on, man. I'm happy to be here. And wow, it's just it only took 15 minutes for me to figure out Zoom. So now that we're finally connected, we're cooking with gas.
Well, now that you're here, I want to ask you, how do I make things better for myself? Making money with drums, making money with podcasting. How do I do that?
I don't know that our podcast is making money. I just know that the guy that behind it has a lot of money to throw at it, and it's fun for him. So this is just something that was a passion project.
So that's what I should have done. Got a co-host that had money. So Jacob,
you gotta get
you
gotta get rich before you decide to get into podcasting, and then the world is your oyster at that point. But I'll tell you what, playing a lot of covers is honestly what paid for these drums and what paid for this house and everything. It's still playing drums nonetheless, but just kind of like comedy, playing original music doesn't pay that many bills. There were brief stints where we made a lot of money, but as a whole, it's a crapshoot like comedy is. I don't have to tell you all this. I've never been broker in my life doing comedy. Honestly, I had to jerk off my dog to feed my cat this week. Y'all feel me there.
Jason, that's what you've been doing wrong, dude. Is you should have sold out way sooner. Just do covers of better songs.
I mean, dude, my wife said, when I told her I was going to do comedy, she goes, do we have to pursue all of our dreams? Like, I was with you through the broke stages of being a drummer, and you somehow made it. You were so lucky that you made it, and made it is a relative term, of course, in music, but you were able to make a living playing drums, and you're quitting to do comedy? You just not love me and your child? Is that the problem? And I haven't had a good answer for it. I was going to lean on you guys on what I should tell her, but
it seems like we're cut from the same bolt of cloth. It's kind of like I spent that's why I'm a broke adult with no retirement or anything like that. It's because all I've done is chase whimsy my entire life. It's like, ooh, I'm going to be a drummer and a musician. Did that for like 20 years. And then I was like, ooh, I want to be a podcaster. And I've done that to, tens of dollars.
Hey, Jacob, though, Jacob, you got to admit, though, Jacob, look at his man cave he's got behind him. It's pretty jam up, isn't it? I mean, that's something that goes away with a relationship. All the man cave stuff goes away. This is not even a full man cave. You're just seeing probably 10 square feet of my house that my wife is like, that's yours. You can have that 10 square feet of the house you pay for. That's what you're allowed to hang out in.
I'm jealous of both of you. I'm in my daughter's bedroom.
Yeah, I'm not throwing any shade at that because I understand what's in play there.
Yeah, this is the only part of wall that's completely white and doesn't have anything princess themed on it.
And it sounds like there's a war going on in your background.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, and you have some toy slime stuff in your clothes washer now. It sounds like.
Yeah, listen, can we do this? Can we do some housekeeping real quick? Okay,
go ahead.
First of all right, I'm having a fucking day. Okay, we go to start this podcast, and fucking I hear what sounds like a mortar shell coming from the other room, and apparently someone put some slime up above the fucking dryer and didn't put the lid on it. So now there's just slime all over my fucking dryer, and the slime has to go in the trash, and the kid's screaming.
So why do we even have slime is where my brain goes. Hey, why is that in this house right now? Isn't that a driveway activity?
That would be a driveway activity. The reason that we have slime is because we're in an apartment. The patio has spiders on it. And she got a big bucket of slime because she has little slimes and a little slime advent calendar that we got her. And today's slime didn't have any fucking slime in it.
Well, it seems to me like, because she's a child and doesn't have a job and can afford these things, it sounds like a lot of this is your fault.
I get outvoted on everything, dude. Look, I got one dick. As I'm outvoted. I need another dick around here, dude.
Yeah, it's science, guys. Slime is science. He was doing a science. See, we homeschool our child, which is there anything more hippie? Is my son destined to be weird or like being homeschooled? All I'm trying to do is save him from being shot in one of these mass shootings. That's what our primary focus is.
Yeah. No, I think I get that. We home preschool our kid, if there's a such thing, as that.
And when I say we, make no mistake about it, I'm using the wrong pronouns. Sorry, don't cancel me. It's definitely she that is homeschooling. No, y'all had a look of concern on your face when you're like, we? You're homeschooling?
There's no they about it.
No.
It's she,
it's all her. For sure.
She, her's doing that.
I mean, I'm already scared for the kids that Jacob does have to look after during his day job, much less his own daughter. I mean, check in on them from time to time if you don't mind. Just go by there and make sure everything's going okay.
I teach children, if you didn't know that.
Jesus Christ, Jacob.
What? It's my job. It's what I do.
He's gonna have to go back and bleep that out, dude.
I'm not bleeping it out. Are you crazy?
You should bleep it out.
Dude, you're really gonna make me go back and bleep that out?
Yeah, you should do that.
And y'all are based in Mobile, right?
No, we're on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi.
Oh,
so a little further.
Nice. So y'all are down by Pascagoula.
Yeah.
That's literally, I'm not going to say that, but yes, we are. I was born there. Let's say that.
You say it like it's an excuse, like I was criticizing where you live. Hey, guys, nothing I can do about it. I was born here. God, get off me. I was just asking where y'all were.
Yeah, dude. Oh, also, there's now, David, I know you don't know anything about this podcast. Let's be real. You don't fucking, there's this common misconception among the hardcore listeners of our podcast that I just kind of don't give a shit about this, because let's face it, there have been a lot of times where I've at the last minute been like, I can't do this fucking podcast tonight. What was the reason that we couldn't have you on last week on this fucking podcast, Jason Robbins? What was that reason?
Hey, well, look. The holidays had me all discombobulated, and it was our anniversary, and I forgot that all that shit landed on the same day. So I had to, at the last minute, make some changes.
It's a tale as old as time, dude. Forgetting the old anniversary. What's funny is
technically I didn't forget the anniversary. The reason, because it was days before. I'm like, I'm going to take her see Wicked, all this stuff. And then I'm like, getting tickets and all that. And then I'm like, and it's Tuesday night and my brain is like, hey, idiot, you have a podcast tomorrow night too. So something has to give. And I'm like, oh, I guess I should push the podcast back then.
Yeah, I have an anniversary on September 10th. Ironically, September 11th. What do they say about September 11th? What is the big mantra?
Man.
Never forget. Too late. I've already forgotten by September 11th. You know, when it hits, I've already forgotten. So it's a bad time to have one. But
Yeah.
I spent. This is great. I spent one anniversary, my first anniversary. I spent at Hooters judging a bikini contest because it paid $300, and at the time I was like, she'll understand. It's bringing home $300 in cheese to host this thing, and it really was. I was wanting to do it just for the money, but I didn't realize how that looked in a female's eyes. She got to tell everybody, "Oh no, we're not doing jack shit on our anniversary. My son's down. I mean, my husband's down at Hooters judging a bikini contest."
Yeah.
Well, just imagine if your wife, on your first anniversary, is just like, honey, I can't do anniversary stuff. I have to go judge a big dick contest.
Yeah, dude.
One of the qualifying factors is taste.
Yeah. She's going to come back home with a different opinion of mine. She's like, wow, I really saw some heavy hitters tonight.
Right. No, it wouldn't have mattered if it was $300,000. She would have been like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Dude, we all make these mistakes, and I don't blame you for moving it last week. I'm the last one to do something like that. I make the mistake of not moving it, telling her we'll push it to Friday or the next or Saturday. And man, my wife has stuck with me, guys, through an unbelievable amount of bullshit. This podcast isn't long enough for me to tell you the mud that I've drugged this woman through, and she's a real saint. And every day she's like, "This is our 23rd and final year. Hope you know this." She's got a countdown on the fridge. When my son turns 18, she said, "I'm out of here as soon as he turns 18." And she laughs about it, but I'm here to tell you, I think she's serious. I'm not kidding. I think she's dead serious.
You might be serious, dude.
I told her when I quit the band, when I quit playing drums, I was like, "Honey, I'm coming off the road. I'm going to be home a lot more. All right. Now that I do comedy, I'm gone 3 times as much as I was playing in a band. 3 times as much. I'm going every night of the week. I've got a set tonight at 8:30 at a club downtown. Isn't that crazy? Every single night I'm going doing an open mic to like 10 people. Like,
yeah. It pays so much less. And less means zero. It pays no money.
Yeah. People are like, "You drive 3." I do this bit on stage. I go, "So you mean to tell me you're going to drive 4 hours to do 3.5 minutes and then drive 4 hours back for no pay?" And I ask people in the crowd, I go, "Who do you think that is?" I'm doing an impersonation, and they all guess my wife. I was like, "Nope. That's my inner monologue talking to me for 3.5 hours there and 3.5 hours back. Like, you're going to do this for no money. Why are you going to do this?" But I tell people it's because I'm 48 years old and I started comedy at 47. And I have this clock, kind of like women have a biological clock of when they can get pregnant. I have the same clock going on with me on trying to make it in this business and cram 10,000 hours into 500 hours.
We are the same. That's exactly it.
I was so happy when I booked him, dude. You're the same fucking person, but he's better. Continue.
That's exactly it.
No, I'm no better. This open micer that just started a month ago was messaging me right before I went on live with you. And he's like, "Man, I love getting advice from you veterans." I was like, "Pause, hit the brakes, buddy. I am by no means a veteran. There are veterans in this town that if they heard you call me a veteran, they would laugh their cock off. They were the guys that have been in it for 10, 12, 15 years. I was like, don't call me a veteran, man. I mean, because I've accepted the fact that I'm going to suck for the next 4 years. And then I'll start getting better. On my 5th year, I predict that I'll start. Because I was asking a veteran the other day, I go, should I start posting clips? I mean, it's 2024, 2025 coming up. Should I be posting clips of stuff that gets real big pops? And every veteran comments like, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it. A year from now, you'll hate all of that material." I was like, "Oh, I got news for you, my man. I hate that material right now. All my material I'm sitting on, I hate every bit of it. Every time I say it and it gets a laugh, I just want to cuss at the crowd and be like, y'all don't know comedy. That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing I could have ever written." So I got a head start on hating my material.
Well, not only that, but I feel like everybody posts their stuff. And it's like, it's just a sea of just endless comedy clips. And it's like, how do you get traction in that world? Like it's luck of the draw, really, an algorithm.
I agree, man. I don't know what to do.
I just think comedy should be old school. I mean, it should just be word of mouth. You go to towns, you do different bars, you tell your jokes, and people are like, hey, this guy was funny last time he was here. Let's go see him again. It's like build a following that way.
But in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, man, do it the old school way, and it will take you till you're 62 to start getting traction. Again, that clock going on in the back of my head overrides all of this stuff you're saying, because I have this battle in my head, like you're saying, to just go out there and grind and don't worry about getting local shows. Uncle Laser's nice enough to take you out on the road. Just start networking when you get out on the road with Uncle Laser. Dude, last week, about 6 days ago, I'm sitting in David Lucas's house in Macon, Georgia, with his whole family at a fish fry. And I text all my black comic friends. I was like, this is the first black cookout I've ever been invited to, you assholes. And it's my guy I just met 2 hours ago. And I'm fishing with him and now at a cookout with him. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. But I was just sitting at the dinner table while we're all eating. And then Roseanne Barr FaceTimes and I was like, this is crazy where my life takes me doing this. Like, I really feel like you can get more gigs being a fun hang than you can by being the funniest comedian or fighting so hard to get every minute of stage time. If you can just lay back in the cut and be fun to hang around and be easygoing, I think that's why I've gotten everything in my life. It's just being a good hang. I'm definitely not the most talented drummer. You're probably 10 times better of a drummer than I am. I can't even read music. I can't even read music. So
Jason can't even read.
Well, I used to be able to read music, but it's been like 30 years and I haven't even looked at a tab sheet.
That's crazy, dude. No. You're old. Let's let David keep talking.
No, Jacob, listen, you shut your fucking mouth, because you're going to, I remember I used to make fun of old people till I woke up one day staring down the barrel of 50 going, oh, I am. I'm at that age now where I go to bed feeling good and I wake up sore. I'm like, I was just laying down, man. How did I screw all this up, man? I just went to bed feeling healthy.
Dude, hurting myself sleeping is like at least a once a week thing now. Go to bed, fine, wake up and you're like, what the fuck? Did I fight a fucking Russian in my sleep? What happened?
Yeah. I got lost this week and turned down the radio. Now, is that not like, you remember when your parents would do that? You'd be like, what do you do? And that has nothing to do with why we're lost. But I was like, I can't even think with this music this loud. It's my own music I'm listening to.
Yeah, me too. I'm there.
Oh, that's why you had to turn it off. Like this fucking sucks,
well, let me ask you this, because we're not far apart in age, and we've had a pretty similar story. And we talked about it a little bit before the show that you were signed to Universal as well. I was too back in the day, and
tell him your story, Jason. Tell him why you don't have $1 to your name.
Treated like crap, and like just it's like I'm 47 years old, and sometimes I just lay awake at night, and I'm like, I've come close to success so many times, and it's always been yanked out from under me for some reason or another, whether it was the band or doing acting and making movies or the podcast or like comedy. It's like every time I try to get close to something, it's like, God damn it, I just can't get over that hurdle. And I lay in bed and I think about like my brother is a polymer scientist and I'm just like, he has made a life for himself and has money and a home, and
your parents are super proud of him.
They're so proud of him, and I am just an abject fucking failure at life,
dude.
Yeah, you are. Funny. But you're burying the lead here too, dude. This isn't a therapy session.
I know, but I just want to ask if I'm the only one that fucking feels that way.
You are. You are the only one that feels that way. Dude, your whole story is that 3 Doors Down fucked you out of all your money.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, think about like everything that happened with Monsters Anonymous, all that could have happened with that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, music. Like, that's why, like, you would have a bunch of money playing the drums, but 3 Doors Down took all your fucking money.
Well, they didn't take. Well, kind of did take some of our money, but wasn't them.
Have y'all told this story ad nauseum on the show, and you're not going to read tell it to me, or is it? Can you nutshell
Jason's shy. Jason's so shy about it. Dude, Three Doors Down fucked you over. It's okay. Their bassist is in prison now.
Not
yeah, for
anymore.
DUI. Yeah, I know about that story.
He killed a man.
Yeah, he definitely did. And dude, watching Three Doors Down is like watching paint dry. I'll tell you this, and I've toured with everybody. You ask me about any band I've toured or done a couple of shows with. So
Creed.
I can tell you, huh?
Creed.
I was at a Creed show not 2 months ago, and I had 3 people come up to me and go, "Hey, you Scott Stapp?" And I was like, would I be sitting here hanging out with my fat friend at the fucking concession stand about with Scott Stapp? Wouldn't I be knee deep in dick or whatever he's into backstage? I have no idea. But and then the third person came up to me while he's on stage. He goes, "I ain't gonna blow your cover, man, but are you Scott Stapp?" And I look behind me on the stage. I go, he's on the stage, and now it's like a bit at shows. This lady the other day called me Scott Staff infection, like front row. I was like,
I get this woman
out of here. Dude, back around like the 2007, 2008, everybody thought I was Chris Daughtry. Everywhere I went, are you Chris Daughtry?
Dude. You do look like Chris Daughtry. You guys should have a fucking mashup cover band, dude. Start making some fucking real money.
I'm done with music for a while.
Yeah,
dude.
music.
I quit, dude. My band. I was playing in a band called Get Sideways right before I quit playing drums and started doing comedy. We were making $5K a show and playing Supper Club and all. I mean, not Supper Club. The Sky Bar in Auburn. We were playing all the big college bars. And it's Hattiesburg. We were playing Brewskis. We were playing
I know that
just
place.
all the big rooms.
Yeah.
And I just left, man. I just love comedy so much that I, at 47, had to make a decision. I'm making enough money doing the podcast. Do I just never try comedy and live the rest of my life going, "You never even going to give it a shot, my man?" Or are you going to go out there and try and at least fail and know that you tried? And I've never been this passionate because, as you know, in a band, when you're having a bad night, you can kind of be like, "It's a little of him. It's a little of him. We're just not gelling together." But dude, when you're on stage doing comedy and a joke don't land, there ain't no turning around and asking people around you or taking, you got to. So it's the first time in my life that I felt truly artistic and autistic, but definitely artistic to where I'm coming up with my own stuff and saying it on stage. And I live and die by, I just got tired of depending on other people in a band. Honestly, because you're only as strong as your weakest link. And if somebody's not rowing the boat in the same direction that you are, it's pretty frustrating. And I just made a decision, and it was crazy. I've been so passionate about this. It's insane. I've surprised myself at the level of time I've put into it and what I've accomplished in a year and 4 months. I'm just impatient. I still want to do more. I still think I should be doing more, but I can't physically do much more than what I'm doing right now. We put on 30 shows, 20 something shows a month. Me at Comedy Break-In that I started. So I work so hard to try and build a scene, not just for me, because I've always been we're all a team. And I look at all the comics up and down Alabama that I'm friends with, and I look at us all as a team. And when something big happens for you guys, I'm like, hell yes, man, that helps everybody.
Yeah, that'll never happen, but continue.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you never know. You've seen worse people get popped, So it wouldn't surprise. I don't get impatient when something doesn't happen to me. Like if I don't get picked for something, I'm like, you know what? It happened I've been out to Austin 3 times and tried out for Kill Tony, never been called up. I don't let it defeat me too much, even though it cost me about $800 to get there and back.
Holy fucking
hang out for a few
shit.
days.
Wow.
Yeah. So aside from that, I mean, Laser lets me stay at his house, and but I just assume when it's time for me to get called up, it'll happen, And until then, I just keep playing I just keep busting my ass because I definitely have a reputation around Birmingham for changing the scene a lot, because there was only one open mic when I started, and now there's one 5 days a week. And
that's awesome.
That's come from open mics are dog shit though, It's not much of an accomplishment. I've gotten 9 rooms in 1 year, and I've lost 9 rooms in 1 year.
Dude, that's fucking Jordan numbers. 9 up, 9 down. Let's go.
I mean, I get excited about the 9 that I've gotten, and then I think, but you've lost 8 of them, and your 9th one's getting lost December 31st. So what's there to brag about, David? I mean, can you hold a room? Because it's so hard to hold a room if you're running an open mic out of it, because they're so dog shit by nature. Just what they are, you know. People that come see them get confused and equate that to a comedy show. And you're like, no, these are apples and oranges. This is a gym. This is where beginners, every great comic you've ever met, their first time was at one of these. I try and explain that at the mic. It doesn't matter. People don't listen. They just think this is just shitty comedy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, of course it is. You didn't pay to get in here, asshole. That's why I tell the good jokes when I get paid to do them, you know?
Right.
But
yeah, and this might be something that's just me, but you know, maybe you two, you know, almost 50 somethings can shed some knowledge on me. I take everything I don't get very personally and have a giant chip on my shoulder about it.
Which is weird because it makes sense for me to think that, because I'm 48 and I could die tomorrow and they'd be like, oh, it's natural causes. They wouldn't even do an autopsy. But you got your whole life ahead of you, you shithead. Why in the world would you take it personal? You've got so many years to get that spot that you didn't get. Like,
wow, dude, I'm going to die way before then.
Your wife's going to cut you off or what? She's not going to let you do comedy.
No, dude, I'm going to be dead and gone. I'm like type 1 diabetic, 300 something pounds. I'm shitting my guts out as we speak. We haven't gotten into this yet, but I've shit so much my asshole is raw. But I refused to fucking reschedule this podcast again. That's how much I'm dedicated to this podcast, where Jason's like, oh, I'll just forget a thing and cancel. I'm shitting out blood and I'm still fucking here talking to you assholes. Okay.
Why don't you get a bidet like a grown up? You can tell this guy's young. You don't have a bidet. I've got 2 bidets in my house.
I need to get a fucking bidet, dude. That's actually a good point. I do. But what kind of like bougie apartment do you walk into and they're like, oh, these guys have a fucking bidet and a fucking $1,000 apartment?
Let people laugh. Everybody laughs. Everybody's like, I'm too Christian for that. And they say all this stuff and homophobic shit. And I'm like, sit on it one time. Let the water hit your. I'll tell you, here's a good example. If I walk up to you, Jacob, and I had a bucket of shit and I threw it on you and all your clothes, would you prefer me to come up with a towel or paper or toilet paper and just wipe it off with toilet paper? Or would you prefer me to get a hose and hose you down and get it all off?
I would prefer you to not throw a bucket of shit on me, but since we're in this
that
scenario,
already happened. How are we cleaning this shit up? Are we cleaning it up with toilet paper or are we cleaning it up with water?
Yeah, obviously water.
Warm, pulsating water. Just gently, just like tick, 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 just barely. Dude, I'm telling you, it changed your life. I went to Poland. I was touring in Poland and I sat on one of those and I was like, I was just fucked up enough to try. You know, I came back drunk and I was like, I'm going to try this boozy shit. And I turned it on and I was like, this was 2019. I ordered one from Poland to be shipped right to my house. When I got there, it was there. Shortly after 2020 happened, there was a toilet paper shortage. Guess who didn't give a fuck about it, dude? Your boy was sitting high cotton, dude. I was over there sitting on that damn toilet, like, hate it for all you people that aren't on the bidet train, because they all made fun of me until 2020 happened, you know?
Yeah, I got to get a fucking bidet, dude.
But you can get it at attachment. Get one from Hello Tushy. You can get. I don't know if they're a sponsor of.
Yeah, dude. Use the code Lynam for.
No, we don't have them as a sponsor either. But I've got one upstairs. I've got the Toto C200 250 in my.
All right, no. Now that's gay, dude. Knowing the model of your bidet is fucking gay.
Hey man, I don't know much, but I do know this: the washlet C250 from Toto will change your life, man. You'll start a new religion after you sit on the seat, because it's the seat warms for you. They've got them now where as soon as you walk in, the seat at our podcast studio, the seat just raises and they say welcome. And I was like, man, that's goals I shoot for. And now I'm looked at it as like I'm camping over here with my C250, but really the C250 does so much. And if you have $100 or $125, you can get the cheap one I got upstairs, the Hello Tushy one. It warms the water for you and it shoots it on your butt. You can get a $75 one that'll shoot cold water on your ass, but that'll wake you up, dude. a cold water splash on your butt cheeks really will get your day going. It's like a cup of coffee.
Up until now, I've only had white trash bidets, and what that is when you shit in a Walmart and you flush the toilet and you get a little bit of splashback up on your ass. Yeah, dude, I get those a lot.
I love y'all's podcast, man. Y'all don't have an agenda or shit. Y'all are like, let's just turn on the cameras and talk. That's what I wish we could do that more.
The funny thing is that we do definitely have an agenda. We're like,
you just have ADD too. You're afflicted, so you can't help it.
The thing is like we completely overhauled our podcast at the Sam Talent episode where we're like, everything we've been doing doesn't work. We're gonna do it like the fucking Are You Garbage guys, where we have like a set questions about like your starting comedy and all this shit, and we're gonna do that. And then we turn it on, and like whoever we're having on. And us, we're in the groove and we're being too funny to stop it and be like, what was your first open mic like? Like, no, it's fucking stupid. I'm not going to stop doing good podcasting to fucking barrel in with a dumb question like that.
And if you go to Inside Baseball and Comedy, you'll just attract other comedians. And most experienced comedians I know don't give a shit about Inside Baseball comedy stuff. But like when Mark Norman and Sam start talking Inside Baseball, I'm glued to it. I love it and hearing about.
Yeah.
I'm going to post it tomorrow, but I've got a clip of Jim Norton on our podcast because I heard him tell it on a Fighter and the Kid. But he tells a story about bombing at the Gator Growl down in Gainesville, Florida. And when I tell y'all, this is hands down because Dave Attell was on that show. And so was, what's the kid from Florida? Daniel Tosh. Before anybody knew Daniel Tosh at all, he was a nobody. Everybody ignored him to his set. It is the funniest bombing story you'll ever hear. And nothing makes me happier. Like reading Sam Talent's book, him doing chicken shit bingo and hearing about all the gigs he's done in his lifetime. I'm so glad he's finally getting a pop because he's one of the guys that's just, he don't play the game. He ain't dressing up for a damn comedy show. He goes out there in gym shorts. And doesn't give a shit about it. How did y'all even get Sam Talent?
It's a funny story. I emailed him and I asked, and then he fucking did it. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just fucking. I need to make a course. Here's the thing. I might have ADD. I've emailed Vladimir Putin, and that's not a joke. I did email Vladimir Putin. I need to just like fucking sell a class on how to get people's emails and just ask them shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we got Eric Griffin. I just DM'd him and I know how to talk like industry talk. And I just
exactly
that's
you're
my
in
town
thing.
already. Come pick up a paycheck, dude. You're already sitting because most comics that come to our comedy clubs are just sitting in a hotel all day doing nothing. If you'll send a car to go get them, you can get almost anybody. Yeah. That's how we've gotten everybody that's here. When Big J Okerson came in, the next day he was already going to be in Huntsville doing Fully Loaded. So we snagged Jay, and it was, dude, we got 50 minutes into our Jay podcast, and somebody hit a pole outside. A truck hit a light pole, a power pole, and knocked out the power in the entire studio. And dude, you want to talk about, dude, we paid a lot of money to get him in there, and we thought we had lost everything. I mean, we have a camera tree with like 6 cameras aimed everywhere. The production in there, we kill a flea with a stick of dynamite at X5. It's unnecessary, all the shit we have, but it's there. And we're like, oh my God. All of a sudden we're talking and we've gotten great content so far, by the way. It's one of our best episodes today. And the lights, it just goes black in that studio because it's blacked out in the back of a warehouse. And I was like, oh my God. And everybody's like, what's going on? And I'm thinking, we don't have any. I bet you the cameras didn't keep any of the shit we got. As it turns out, they saved it all off. They found it on backup hard drives or some shit. They found it all and we got it out. But that's a great episode with Big J, man.
You were giving me anxiety talking about that.
Oh, dude. I mean, we've had stories. Cassio on our podcast has done entire whole episodes with huge comics and look down at his recorder after he's done and nothing. He forgot to press record. Have y'all not had that happen yet?
We've had it happen a few times where I'll I'll hit record and then pause it because it's how and then have to unpause so that I already have it rolling, and then I'll think that I'll hit the pause button and I won't hit it, and we'll be like 10 minutes into the pod and I'm like, shit, we didn't get anything recorded.
But never with a big guest though. Never anyone like just fucking hack open micers. They're like, hey, just repeat the 10 minutes of the fucking thing. Like, come on.
Here's a question for y'all. This is great because this is about open micers. Because I had myself listed as a comic for a while, and a buddy of mine was like, hey, take that off your profile. And I go, what? And he's like, you're not a comic. And I was like, oh, okay. What determined, because I eventually changed it to open micer, and now I flipped it back to comic based on my qualifications. What are y'all's qualifications? If you hear somebody that's been in comedy for 2-3 months and you hear them call themselves a comic, what's your thoughts? What is the qualification to be able to call yourself a comic?
I don't think you can call yourself a comedian until you get paid to do comedy.
Boom, that's mine. The second I got paid, I was like,
yeah. And I think that, like, I mean, you can call yourself a comic like the very first time you do comedy, but in my mind, I'm going, okay, so you're a bad comic. Got it. So maybe you should call yourself an open micer until you get good enough to market yourself and be like, now I'm a fucking comic.
Yeah, that was me. I mean, I really at heart feel like an open micer, but all I've done, and the reason I'm getting the work I'm getting, is I focus on being the best MC I can, because that's the quickest way to get work anywhere and everywhere, is be able to reset a room, know how to reset a room, know how to make a show that's not exactly feel pro to the audience. And so, man, so many people hate going up first. And even with laser in some of these rooms we're doing, I was like, the guy in the sound booth who has a God mic right there. I was like, are you just going to say my name when I come out? And they go, nope, we run a video and then the projector just comes up and you just walk out there. And I was like, okay, but you got music? He goes, we got music, but we usually don't do it for the MC. And I was like, okay.
And also I feel like if you're a comedian and you feel like I should be starting to look at getting paid gigs, when you're the guy that goes to the open mics and whoever runs the open mic looks at you and goes, hey, do you mind going up first? When you get that you know that you're the guy that's like, okay, I should probably be getting paid for this now.
Well, I mean, going up first, nobody likes to do it, but I've cold started so many rooms that I was like, let me do it. Let me do it.
I love going up first, honestly. I usually sign up within the first 2 or 3 comics.
I'll go up.
Huh? Can I be honest with you guys real quick? My favorite thing in the world, and I kind of feel bad because like a few months ago I did like bump somebody, which felt good as fuck. that I bumped somebody.
You gotta hide your erection in that moment. You gotta hide it, dude. You can't show everybody how hard.
And like the guy that thought he was going on stage was by the stage, and then I get introduced and just fucking walk by him, dude. It felt so good. But my thing is when I see a full sign up list of everything except the number 1 spot, my big dick moment is to sign up in the number 1 spot and then do better than everyone anyways.
I don't mind it. I like the challenge. I've got a handful of black comic friends that will not go do the urban rooming thing. They're just terrified of performing in front of black people. I was like, dude, I'll look at it like this. You ever gone into a casino with $5 and you're like, I'm just sticking it. I don't give a shit if I lose, you know? That's how I look at black rooms. I was like, it's probably not going to end up being my demographic that I'm most popular in front of, but I'll go stick $5 in a slot machine and try and get them. And I'm batting about 30% and 40% in black rooms, and I brag about it to anybody that will listen to me. I'm like, listen, your boy 3 out of 10 times gets them going in the black room. And that's a lot.
Have you tried sticking $5 in them yet?
No.
That'll really get them going. Dude.
Hey, I don't tell people my tricks. I just tell them I get them 3 out of 10 times.
You pay off 2 or 3 to start laughing.
Yeah, no. They jing up, man. I'm telling you, some of these rooms in Birmingham, they'll start jingling their keys under the table, and you don't know where it's coming from. You just know. I mean, not that you don't already know. I know when I'm eating it. I did a joke last night that never doesn't get a laugh, and it didn't get a laugh. And I told the crowd, I was like, that joke's funny, and I'm keeping it in the set. I don't give a shit that y'all didn't think that's funny. It's actually my closer, so y'all can not laugh all you want. It stays in the set. So y'all just maybe you'll figure out the joke and the punchline when you on your way home. But I'm not being deterred by a crowd that didn't laugh at that joke. Because that's the first thing I realized when I started doing comedy in front of, and I know y'all have experienced this yourself. The first time you get up in front of an audience that actually paid money to be in a venue, it's just such a game changer. It doesn't matter if it's $5, it's $10, $20, $30.
Yeah.
Just when they get a babysitter and they grab and pick up somebody, they get dressed up and do all this stuff and come there to watch comedy. That's so much different than a family of 3 at a chicken wing joint that just is getting ambushed by comedy, or somebody drinking that didn't pay a cover to get in. They're like, I'll talk during their set. I don't give a shit about this comic. It's such a big difference, man. I tell people all the time, don't get defeated if it don't work in an open mic. It's mostly just other comics anyway. And I remember the first time I got a pop during a paid crowd, I almost talked over it. I was like, oh, I even looked behind me when I said it. I was like, is somebody behind me going, huh? You know, I thought that's what was going on. I was like, is there somebody behind me with their dick out or something? Why is everybody laughing all the time? I'm never going to laugh right there, but it was just, that taught me so much.
Yeah, I kind of learned that too, especially, when was that Mo Alexander show we did, Jacob? Was that?
It was like a year ago now.
Yeah, it was about a year ago now. We did this huge show with Mo Alexander in Pensacola. And, you know, for a couple of weeks beforehand, you know, I was going up and had a certain set I wanted to do. So, you know, I was going to the open mics and doing this set exactly, just to try to get it ironed out, you know. And sometimes it just wasn't working at the mics. It just wasn't getting a whole lot of laughs. I'm like, I know this shit's funny. And then you go to the Mo Alexander show when there's, you know, I don't know how many people were there, but they're all there to see comedy. And you get on stage and you get that, your first joke comes out and it hits and you're like, this is what it's about right here. Like the comedy crowd. People are here to see comedy.
I'll never blame an audience when they don't laugh.
I will, dude. Fuck them.
Yeah, no, I know you will. But I'm like, I just, as a rule, even in the back of my head, if I think it's the audience, I won't be the one to say it. I'll let the headliner behind me say it. Be like, yeah, it makes me feel good to hear you say that because I thought that, but I wouldn't dare say it because that's just like such a fucking hack comic thing to do. To come up and be like, they're a little stiff, and then the headliner comes up and just murders them, and you're like, oh god, he just murked this whole crowd. Damn, I'm terrible. So Laser says this too. He goes, I know it's a hot crowd if you're getting laughs. And I was like, are you insulting me, you prick? He goes, no, I just, like, you've been doing, I go, me and you, I have to say, Laser, remember this. Me and you have been doing comedy the exact amount of time. All right, don't forget that. I know you got a pop on social media and you got on Kill Tony, but me and you have been doing comedy. We and you are peers, you know? I get it, you're moving tickets. You've got this wave of popularity behind you. I was like, but we've been doing comedy the same amount of time. So I know when I'm getting laughs that it's a hot crowd. Like, and there's been paid audiences that are a little stiff too. And it's just weird. Until you've done comedy long enough, you don't realize the difference. You just think you're not being funny. But there are some people, there are some groups of people, it's just in the air when you walk out there, and it's hard to turn it over. I guess that's where the experience of a great comic, even a great comic, will go in there and make the room laugh, but they won't be falling out of their chairs like some rooms when they're really hot. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Yeah. So it's hard to, comedy's hard as shit, man. Like, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I've always been the guy, even after music shows, I always wanted to hang out with comics. Like the comic hang. A problem we have at shows in Birmingham is that our mics, the comics will go right outside the door and just start cutting up like we all do, ripping on each other. And so there's an audience of maybe 10, 15 people in there trying to watch the comedy, and you can just hear roars of laughter back behind there. And I had to get onto them so many times. I was like, hey, fuckheads, I know it's way more fun to go outside, but it's like, as a respect thing, you got to come inside and sit and watch other people's set, because what if I think of a tag for your joke? Like, I can't wait. I used to think, oh, you'll want to keep that for yourself, man. If I come up with a bit for somebody and see them do it and see it get laughs, it's just as satisfying to me as telling the bit myself. Like, it tells me, oh, David, you can be funny. You are inherently funny. You can write funny stuff, because writing's my shortcoming. for forever and always. I think my writing will be my shortcut.
So when you write, are you one of the people that thinks you have to write every single day, or do you go through bursts of creativity? I'm the burst of creativity kind of guy.
One of Laser's roommates taught me this writing thing that we do, and I've incorporated it, and we use it a lot around here, and I've even taken it up to Huntsville, and they use it. But what we do is we all get a bowl. You'll get no more than 4 comics, no less than 2 at a table, and you'll write down some ideas like biblical stories I don't believe in, or you'll write something like car sex, and you'll all just dump it in a bucket. And what you'll do is you'll swirl it around, and one comic will pull it out and announce what it is. Everybody contributes, and then they set the clock for 6 minutes. They set a 6-minute timer, and you just empty your brain out. You don't try to be funny. You don't try to go for the joke. Of course, if a joke comes, it doesn't matter. You just empty your brain out about that subject, and you write and write and write. At the 6-minute timer, it stops. Everybody around the table reads what they have, and like if somebody reads something and you think something, their brain goes one way and yours goes another. You go, hey man, how about instead of this, you do that? And that'd be like a killer joke. Like you use that misdirection and do that. And then somebody else goes, yeah. And then you could say this, and they write that down and they use it. And it's a real give and take type of thing, but it's so beneficial. It works so good. It's
That's an awesome idea. I love that.
It is. It's 6 minutes, and you just turn down some low music, and everybody writes for 6 minutes, and you do it over and over again until the bowl's empty or until you got to go do something else. But you just have to assure people it's not about writing something funny. It's about emptying your brain. A lot of times you don't even come up with a joke. You just get sent in a direction that you know is going to get you to a joke. That's one thing you do. And of course, I love when somebody has a joke they can't finish and just pull around 4 guys or girls, and somebody comes up with something and finishes it.
Yeah,
that's the greatest.
Oh yeah, dude, I love it. Fucking finishing off guys and girls.
Yeah. Didn't mean for it to sound like that, but
on that note, we do need to start wrapping this thing up here, Jacob.
Yeah, we do. And dude, before we get you out of here, I got to get 2 things from you before we fucking leave, or I'll be remiss. Okay. The first thing that I got to get out of you, fucking, what's it like shooting flamethrowers with Steve-O? Like, how do you live this life?
I mean, it's Charlie that runs the podcast that affords us that life to be able to do that kind of stuff. He paid for him to get fake tits, which he ended up backing out of. But
yes, famous story, by the way. It's been fucking everywhere, and your podcast has been labeled as the reason that Steve-O's not doing this anymore.
No, it wasn't. It was a trans person in Los Angeles that worked at a supermarket that told him to be offensive to him. But it was, it's cool. We rode side by sides with Rob Riggle. It's just magical moments you get to be a part of. I'm just lucky I was just standing there. I really had so little to do with it. I'm just like one part of a group of guys that contribute to make that show happen. But Charlie is the HMFIC up there, and he's he gave him the flamethrower, and we've given flamethrowers to the Moonshiners, AK-47 flamethrowers to the Moonshiners guys off of that Netflix show. So it's not that he's not the first or last person that get one of those. But what I keep laughing about is thinking about somebody outside driving by, because we do it in a small town with one red light. And somebody had to have driven by and been like, I just imagine it's a man with a former drug problem, and he calls his wife and he's like, honey, I swear to God, I think I just saw Steve-O from Jackass shooting a flamethrower on the side of the road. And his wife is like, honey, you're going back to rehab. Come back home right now. You shouldn't even be driving if you're fucked up like this, saying such crazy things like, he's in Cleveland, Alabama with a flamethrower. Yes, honey, I'm almost positive it's Steve-O. but yeah, it's pretty cool to. I said a line in the first podcast. As soon as we sat down, he looked at me and he went, "Punami." I think about that every day. That thing you said about me jumping into a pool of crap and you called it a punami, because I think about that every day. I just want you to know that. Ever since you said that, was one of the funniest things I've heard. And so it's cool. I mean, I've been around famous people for so many years that I'm just numb to it. I don't know if it's my old age or just being around it so much that I don't get starstruck anymore. I did as a 25-year-old. I'd get starstruck around them and act weird, but now it's just everybody is so normal, dude. Most people are so normal. And the ones that are not, you just know that they're not, and you just let it go. You're like, some people like that. Some of these LA people just never figure out social cues and hanging out with people. You know, they're loners, you know.
I'm 24. I definitely get starstruck. I got kicked out of Mick Foley's green room when I opened for him.
Did you really?
He just fucking asked me to leave, dude. Like he didn't know that he had an opener. He was like, I requested just a host. I'm going to do 2 hours tonight. And I'm like, all right, I guess Mick Foley's doing 2 fucking hours of stand-up. I would be like, man,
what little I know about comedy, can you just not do 2 hours? It's the audience is going to look like they're being held hostage.
Yeah,
please don't do 2 hours.
Dude, I mean, props to him because they loved it. Like he did an hour and 30 minutes of stand up and then a 30-minute Q&A. But I got to be like, man, come on, like fucking you
would Q&A is what they're there for. That's what they bought money for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fucking Q&A. Like, come on, this isn't stand up. This is just
Q&As are great with guys like that. Laser did one in Mobile at Alchemy Tavern. It went great, and he should do more of them. But he's got so many haters online that inevitably somebody will record asking him a question. That's what happened at Alchemy Tavern. This one kid that's part of Reddit asked him some bullshit about that Bill Burr bit that he didn't even know Bill Burr did, and they were accusing him of stealing it. And he just ran down in the crowd, snatched the guy's camera. Was like, man, I'll beat the fuck out of you. I know what you're doing here. I know who sent you. I know what you're doing.
Shit.
Yeah, he's like, I'll beat the shit out of you. Give me that phone right now. He deleted the guy's video.
Wow.
But
hell yeah, dude.
It must feel good to get hate like that. That means you're doing something right. What was your other question you had?
When was the last time you shit your pants?
What is today? I'm not kidding. It was 6 days ago, walking with my wife. I tried a little. We were walking the dogs, and we do it every day. We walk the dogs, and it hit me about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away from my house. I knew when it hit me. I was like, "You're not making it back." You ever had the chills on your shoulders, like chill bump on your neck? Yeah, I had that going, and I was like. So I was like, hold on 1 second. And I ran up into the woods because it was like I had less than a minute. And I did it. And she was like, what did you do? And I was like, I just went to the bathroom. And then we got on a stretcher road. I had to do it again. And this time there was nowhere to go. And I just I kept walking. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I did it. And what is the proper move there, Jacob? Should I have told her or not told her?
You should have definitely told her.
Well, I did not tell her, but she caught me walking like I'm autistic. So I was like stiff leg walking. She was like, did you just have a fill up in your pants? And I was like, I did. And she was like, oh God. And she announced at that point, we're just roommates now. You know that, right? We're just roommates. You know?
Dude, if you don't tell that on stage, you should tell that on stage. That's fucking
I did. It got
great.
0, but it was at an open mic. So maybe I'm doing a set tonight. I'll tell it tonight.
Yeah,
downtown
you
Birmingham.
Should try it out.
That's fantastic.
Hey, before I get out of here, I want to ask you guys if y'all would be interested in putting on a hack and forth down there. Do y'all know about the hack and forth show we do?
I know a little bit about it from Carson.
It's great. I mean, we got one in Mobile, but eventually I'd love. Somebody told me about a room down there y'all have that y'all do comedy out of. Austin Church told me about it. I can't remember what.
The juke joint.
Yeah, juke joint. We ought to do one there sometime. It's a good way to merge scenes together. Is why we like doing it. Like it showcases y'all's city's talent, and we bring a handful of 4 or 5 guys, and we usually put one of whatever the local town guy that brought the show there. We put him on the panel too. And it's inspired by Kill Tony, but it's not like Kill Tony. You get 3-minute sets, and then we probably converse for 2 or 3 minutes, sometimes more if it's cooking, you know?
Yeah.
But they don't really rip. There's moments when guys eat shit on stage and they're overconfident about it, and you want them to be mad. But the guys on the panel are more funny than mean to anybody. Like they're always just go back and forth with them. It's a great show, and what we walk away doing is going, oh, this dude and this dude, we need to bring to Birmingham for a show sometime. And then the same thing happens in that market. They see a couple of guys on our squad and go, man, we got to have them on one of our shows. So it's not only is it great for crowds to watch, it's really fun to do. Our panel, we have a guy named Travis Johnson and John McLernan. They are so funny. Me and J Dubs created this show, but we put the two people that are best at paneling on the panel, and we don't even panel. When I go to this show, I go up like you would. I go up like a comic and just do my 3 minutes. And let me tell you, they let me have it when I get done with my set because they know like I'm best friends with the guys. So of course, when I get done, they're just going to really make the crowd awkward.
I'm for it. That sounds fun.
It is so much fun, dude, and there's so many good things about it that bring scenes together. So we all become friends and stay in touch with each other. And you're like, hey, man, anybody like if I get Laser for a date and he's wanting a connecting date, I'll be like, man, get in touch with my guys down there in Pascagoula or South Mississippi. And I can do the same thing with Stu in New Orleans and the same thing with Carson and Mobile. It's just, we thrive on connecting scenes like that at Comedy Break-In. So that's why we're so proud of this show, and we like to bring it everywhere because it merges scenes together.
Awesome.
Yeah, sounds great, man. Yeah, we'll get you in touch with the guy that runs the Juke Joint, and we'll see if we can get something cooking there.
Yeah, 2025 would be a good time to do it. January, February, something like that would be fun.
I'm for it.
Hell yeah, man.
So set that up, Jacob. Get it all set up, and we'll do it.
I'm gonna email everybody, dude. I'm gonna email Kim Jong-un next.
Yeah,
I'm unstoppable.
As soon as he gets done shitting his back out, he's gonna get right on it.
Yeah. I make Jacob do all the behind the scenes work. Like I do the quote unquote editing, recording.
You do the nerd work,
which I will have to edit this episode. The one thing you said, I'm editing that out because I don't want you to get.
You know
fired.
what, Jason? You know what? Edit out another retarded while you're at it. Okay.
Oh, come on, man. I'm not. You know what? I'm not editing it. I'm just going to leave it out there.
Yeah.
Edit the first one. This one at least fucking, dude, if I get called into HR at my work and they just play this whole fucking podcast, they better not skip through it, dude. They better not skip it again to find a wayward retarded in there.
Gee, another one. Good Lord, man. I'll bleep the first one, but I'm not bleeping the other two. You're gonna have to deal with those whenever.
That's fine, dude.
Whenever we get our pop and the podcast is like goes worldwide, like we're bigger than Rogan. Yeah, right. They're gonna come back and be like, okay, Jacob, on this one episode, you said the R word multiple times. Well,
here's the thing: no one cares. It's just I won't say anything else because then you'd have to edit this out. But just fucking, there's certain people that pay my salary that'll probably care a little bit.
Well, I'm not editing them all out. I'm editing the first one.
All right, I appreciate it, big dog.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get walking out the door. So, David, thank you for coming on the show, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll have you on again soon because we still got
anytime, dude.
More. We didn't even touch on really the music stuff, so I want to have you back on for that.
Yeah, dude, we can have fucking.
Who cares about the music shit? Dude?
Yeah, but I got a lot of trauma I need to process with another drummer.
I've got some Steve. I drum tech for Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses for like 3 years.
Nice.
I've got some stories about that I'll share on here sometime for sure.
Awesome. Hell yeah, dude.
Well, we'll tell everybody where they can follow you on the interwebs.
Oh, man, I've got a fucked up last name. It's I am David Lynam on everything. And Comedy Break-In is the company I started with a buddy of mine, J-Dubs. And ComedyBreakin.com is where we have all of our shows posted right now. We got New Orleans coming up, Hacking Forth. We got Mobile Hacking Forth on February 1st. And New Orleans is January 31st. So why don't y'all come sign up and make a day trip over there and go up with me and do 3 minutes. Give me your best 3 minutes. Yeah, I am David Lynam on everything and Comedy Break-In. I'm really trying to get a lot of followers.
Did you say you're going to be in Mobile February 1st?
Yeah, we got Hacking Forth there at the Brickyard on Dawson Street.
Oh man, we might have to we're going. Listen, keep this on the DL. But we're gonna be in Mobile on February 1st, opening for Mo Alexander. So if we have enough time, we'll definitely fucking do both of them.
All right.
Yeah, definitely, man. Sign up is at ComedyBreakin.com. You sign up for all these things online.
Hell yeah,
dude.
Well, Jacob, you got anything you want to toss out there?
Not really, man. It's been slow. We've had a couple of guests fall through. So we've got one more guest coming up before the end of the year. And then it's full on fucking guest of the year mode, dude. we're at that time again to see who's going to get a rotisserie chicken mailed to their fucking house. Okay.
Well, that sounds great.
It's fucking my favorite Diddy Party sex act, dude. Is fucking mailing rotisserie chickens to people. So once we have on our final guests of the year, me and Jason are gonna nominate a couple of guests of the year, and then the final guest of the year nominee will be up to the people, up to the general public. So keep your eyes and ears to social media, and we will we're gonna do fucking all that dumb stuff again. We can leave, Jason.
All right. Well, let me tell everybody, I'm going to be at Uncle Matt's Bar and Patio this Sunday night with our good friend Brandon Haynes, and Tommy T. Ray Bergeron is going to be your headliner. It's going to be me, Jason Brew, and Real Delicious. So come on out. It's this Sunday night in Uncle Matt's Bar and Patio in Harahan, Louisiana. So we love you guys. There's the bidet. Check it out.
Fuck yeah, dude. I want to shit in there so bad right now.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. If you want to email us at OpenMicersPodcast@gmail.com. We're at OpenMicers.com. And, of course, Linktr.com/OpenMicersPodcast takes you everywhere you need to go. And don't forget to go to BRezCoffeeCo.com. Use the code OMPodcast to check out for 10% off your order. We love all of you, and we'll see you all right here next week.
Retarded.
All right. Thank you all for watching on YouTube. Please don't demonetize me, YouTube, for the multiple
You're not
words.
monetized. You'd have to be monetized first to be demonetized. You
Eventually,
fucking hack.
I hope to be monetized.
This guy's a fucking hack, dude.
All right. Thank you all for watching on YouTube. We'll see you all next week.